Where do the Cavs go from here? Because you've got the Kyrie news. You know that LeBron is unhappy with the offseason moves and could take his talents elsewhere next season. So what's next for them? You've got Kobe Altman, who is, we believe, going to be the next GM. What should he be doing?
First of all, you keep Kyrie and you let him pout. Unless you can get something for him that adds pieces that makes LeBron happy. Because we all feel, Will feels especially, that LeBron is at least going to look to make a move. And we all saw him look before. And when he looks, he seems to go where his eyes take him. He takes his talents there. He's influenced by other things sometimes more than basketball. And so if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, I either keep Kyrie and say, you know what? We have you through for 3 more seasons, so you're going to sit here and you're going to have to play, whether you pout or not. And we may build a team around you if LeBron leaves. We may use you to get other pieces that help us at least stay competitive if we lose the best player in the world. You don't let him go for nothing. You don't send him to a place of his liking just because it makes him feel good. You do what you have to do to keep this team moving, to keep this team competitive. You consult LeBron and say, hey, LeBron, what are you thinking? What do you need to be happy here? What do you need to make it to feel like we are going in the right direction? You do everything you can to continue building this team in a way to make it competitive enough to keep the best player in the world. And if that doesn't happen, you have the pieces around, whether it's Kyrie or other pieces you get for him, to at least be competitive in the East as you continue to rebuild after losing LeBron. You can't end up in the burning jersey situation that you end up last time.
All right, so if I'm the new GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, this is what I do. I go into Dan Gilbert's office first thing, and I say, I have one question for you, Dan. What do you want? What do you want for the future? Do you want to rebuild this franchise, or do you want to sell tickets and hope for one more year? Which one do you want? If you want to sell tickets and hope for one more year, we're going to keep LeBron around, hope that Steph turns his ankle. Hopefully KD gets mad about the number of shots he's getting in Golden State, and we'll see what happens. We'll sell tickets and hope for the next year and see if everybody in Cleveland's happy, if that's the route you want to go. If you want to build a franchise, that has some semblance of hope of competing for the next 5 years, maybe 10 years, we have to do something else, and it's much more drastic. We have to rebuild. We have to start selling off parts. Because if you accept the premise that Cleveland has peaked, that they've hit their governor, which I believe, if they've gone as fast as this car can go, the only more way to win a race is to hope that other cars crash, hope that the Golden State Warriors crash. If you accept that premise, that you've peaked out, then the only thing you can do now is rebuild. And that means, LeBron, will you consider waiving your no-trade clause? Will you consider going to LA? It would cause a riot in Cleveland. But the truth of the matter is, we got to make decisions logically, not emotionally at that point. If you want to rebuild, if you don't want to rebuild, Cleveland, if you don't want to compete 5 years from now, fine. Keep LeBron, keep the legacy, keep the relationship one more year, sell some tickets, sell some hope. But if you want something to root for 5 years from now, you got to look at LeBron and his no trade clause and say, hey, can you waive it to get to LA a year early? Let's see if there's a deal somewhere there. I know it's probably not going to happen, but you got to do all this. And you also have to consider Kyrie as well. You got to consider every part that can bring back assets. That's how you build things. Nothing's untouchable. Nothing's off limits. This is why I defended Phil Jackson when he considered trading Kristaps Porzingis. In business, there is no room for emotion. You want to build for the future, you look at selling things that bring back assets. That includes Kyrie, by the way, who you now need to revisit whether or not he's really something you build around for the future.
Right, exactly. But that's my point in what I said is you see if you can keep Kyrie or get parts for him that equal Kyrie. You can't sell him off to make him happy. You can't bring back a piece that doesn't make your organization better, that doesn't make you a better basketball team.
We know in the NBA you're going to lose any deal. You sell a superstar, you lose the deal.
Right, and so now you look at LeBron James. When I said you bring him in and you talk to him, what can make you stay? Maybe in that conversation, part of it is nothing. Maybe LeBron's honest with him and say, you know what? I'm going after this year. I'm going to try to win for this city one more time. I'm going to try to win for this organization one more time, but I'm going after this year. And now you can continue the conversation. But LeBron James isn't going to say that. So he's not
going to give you an answer. That's the problem.
So is your thought process to say, hey, LeBron, we just want to do whatever is right for you, but we hate you, we want you to leave, and you just make him so upset that he decides to waive that trade clause? He's never going to do it.
No.
You are strapped with LeBron James. So you have to come to the table with him. You don't bring LeBron James to the table and force him out or force him to do something. So as the team, you have to look at other parts and other ways to make this presentable for LeBron James.
For 1 year of LeBron, or convincing him to stay?
Trying to convince him to stay. You got to Prince Hakeem it. You know what I mean? She got to be your queen to be. When you walk up, she got to have all the things that make her a great queen. You know, we're not going to name those things, but you remember what Simi told Hakeem. There's certain things she's going to be blessed with.
But we can't name them.
You got to make the team look like that.
We can't name them because they've done that for LeBron. The names are Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, whatever coach you want. I'm sorry, but they've already Prince Hakeemed LeBron. They Prince Hakeemed LeBron into this situation.
So then there's no keeping him. The marriage counselor can't keep it working. So you got to figure out ways to get pieces and to build pieces that make your team competitive in case you lose LeBron again, which you say is about 99.9%.
I didn't put a number on it, but I wouldn't feel good if I was a Cavs fan.
A big dog. Fantastic. I love it.